Hello and welcome to Unacademy. Is Mr. Rahul Gandhi not an Indian citizen? Is he a British national? The Allahabad High Court yesterday ordered an FIR to investigate this matter. In this video, we will discuss all that you need to know regarding this case and how is this case relevant for the civil services examination. But before we start, ideally, this case should not be heard by the courts to begin with. Then by whom? Ideally, this matter should be decided by the Honorable Home Minister at the Union level, Mr. Amit Shah. Why? Because MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, is the nodal agency for all citizenship matters. So first it should be decided by the central government. Why central government has not decided it yet? Or have they decided it already? These are the key issues that we shall be discussing in this video. So let's get started, but first up, let's look at the allegations against Mr. Rahul Gandhi. According to the petitioner, way back in 2003, Mr. Rahul Gandhi floated a company in United Kingdom, and then annual returns of this company were also submitted. According to these annual reports, submitted in 2005 and 2006, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has listed his nationality as British, which means he was not an Indian citizen in 2005 and 2006 because India does not recognize dual citizenship. You cannot be the citizen of India and any other country at the same time. If you have acquired the citizenship of another country, you have lost your Indian citizenship, which means he was not eligible, if these allegations are true, to contest the 2004 Lok Sabha elections. And ultimately now the Allahabad High Court has directed the filing of the FIR to investigate whether these allegations are true or not. But to tell you, this is not a new case. These are not new allegations. These allegations have been raised by different political leaders at different point of time, more prominently by Dr. Subramaniam Swamy. In fact, the courts have rejected this petition, including the Supreme Court in 2019. So then what is this case all about? We will discuss slightly later. But this topic is relevant for the civil services examination. But as a civil services aspirant, you need to extract polity news from political news. How do you extract polity news from this political news? That's something I'm going to tell you today in this video. And should you wish to prepare with us for your civil services examination, for your attempt in 2027 or beyond, now is the most beautiful time to join our UPSC preparation programs. Why? Because right now, our UPSC subscription is available at 19,999. Go to our website should you wish to enroll. Take a look at different offerings. Use this code IAS English, and no matter which plan you choose, you will get the lowest possible subscription fee by using this code. And this offer, where we provide UPSC subscription at 19,999, it's going to end tonight. So use this opportunity. Let's get started and look at what do we mean by citizenship. And that's how you need to extract polity news from political news. According to political expert, according to philosophers, according to political scientist Hannah Arendt, citizenship is the right to have the rights. Because if you are a citizen, only then can you become the President of India, Vice President of India, apply for government jobs, hold constitutional positions. In fact, there are some fundamental rights which are exclusively available to citizens. For example, Article 15, 16, 19, 29, 30. These are the fundamental rights which are not available to aliens, not available to foreigners, but are exclusively available to the citizens of India. But listen to me carefully. As a citizen, you owe your allegiance to the nation, to India. But that's not the sufficient criteria for citizenship. The state has to legally accept that you are the citizen of this country. For example, when NRC exercised, National Register of Citizens, this exercise was carried out in Assam, lakhs of people claimed that they are the Indian citizens. But 1.9 million individuals' claim was not accepted by the state. That means it has to be two ways. You have to claim that you are the citizen. The state has to legally accept that yes, you are our citizen. So both ways it has to work. Just by claiming that you are the Indian citizen, it does not satisfy your citizenship. The state has to legally accept your citizenship. And even then, we do not recognize dual citizenship. There are different countries, more than 100 countries in the world, whether it is United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Portugal, so many countries of the world, more than 100 countries of the world, which recognize dual citizenship, which means you can be the citizen of US and any other country at the same time. But India does not recognize dual citizenship. And that is why for mains examination, this may be a relevant topic. Discuss the limitations or possible reasons why we should or we should not allow the adoption of dual citizenship. The constitution makers were clear that we cannot have divided loyalty, because if you acquire the citizenship of two countries, you will have divided loyalty towards India and the other country as well. Maybe you can consider that the state, the nation is a possessive lover, and the state does not want to share your loyalty with someone else. You're only mine, no one else's. That's why we do not recognize dual citizenship. Long story short, what is citizenship? If you have citizenship, you can claim other rights. And citizenship is a person's full political membership in the country, where you owe your allegiance to the nation, and the nation, the state also accepts that you are our citizenship, that you are our citizen, and that's what we call citizenship. But be that as it may, normally this matter citizenship is not mentioned in the constitution. It is left to the legislature, because as the time progresses, depending upon the reality of those times, the legislature, the political leadership, the political class may change the laws related to citizenship. But India is a unique country where the matters related to citizenship are mentioned in the constitution itself. Part 2 of the constitution deals with citizenship. Articles 5 to 11 deal with citizenship. Why is that the case? Because the country was partitioned, unfortunately on the grounds of the religion. And that's why the constitution makers decided that we have to be absolutely sure who are the citizens of India, who are not, who is eligible and who is not. That is why these matters related to citizenship were mentioned in part 2 of the constitution. But listen to me carefully. Part 2 of the constitution, articles 5 onwards, they talk about who can be the citizen of India at the time of the commencement of the constitution. You would know that Indian constitution was enacted. It entered into force on 26th of January 1950. But laws related to citizenship, articles related to citizenship were implemented on 26th November 1949 itself. That's the impact of the citizenship provisions of the constitution. But be that as it may, constitution talks about who can be the citizen of India, who cannot be the citizen of India at the time of the commencement of the constitution. After that, after the commencement of the constitution, that's for the political class to decide. That's for the parliament to decide. And that's the power given by the constitution to the parliament under Article 11. Article 11 gives unfractured power to the parliament that you can enact a law on citizenship and regulate all matters related to citizenship. So who is, who can be, who cannot be the citizen at the time of the commencement of the constitution, that's mentioned in part 2 of the constitution itself. But after that, who can or cannot become the citizen, that is provided by the law enacted by the parliament. And which is that law? The Citizenship Act of 1955. It is this law which talks about who can now become the citizen, cannot become the citizen, so on and so forth. What are the different ways of acquiring citizenship? For example, one way is acquisition of citizenship by birth. And this is where, at some point of time, things changed. How? Till 30th of June, listen to me carefully, 1987, we were following a concept called Yas Soli, which means law of the soil. Whoever is born on the soil of India is an Indian, regardless of the nationality of your parents. Doesn't matter whether your father, your mother, your parents are Indians or not, doesn't matter. You are born on the soil of India, you are an Indian. You are an Indian citizen by birth. But after that, 1st July 1987 till 2003-2004, if a child is born in this period, one of the parent has to be an Indian. The other parent can be a foreigner. The other parent can be an illegal migrant as well. Yes. But after this date, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. This law was amended, and this law now says we follow a concept of Yas Sanguini, which means law of the blood. After 2003-2004, if a child is born on the soil of India, this child can become an Indian citizen by birth only if both parents are Indians, or one parent is an Indian and the other is not an illegal migrant, which means under no circumstance can the child born to an illegal migrant obtain the citizenship of this country. Where is it mentioned? The Citizenship Act of 1955. By birth, you can become the citizen. If you are born on the soil of India and one of the parent is an Indian and the other is not an illegal immigrant at the time of the birth, you are the citizen of India. But not just that, you can also lose your citizenship. One way in which you can lose your citizenship is renunciation. What is renunciation? A voluntary act. You move to any other country and there you decide to acquire the citizenship of that country, and now you want to give up your Indian citizenship. So voluntarily, Indian citizens, when they move abroad, obtain the citizenship of other country, they have to give up their Indian citizenship voluntarily, and that is what we call renunciation. The allegation is that Shri Rahul Gandhi has renounced his citizenship, and as such he is not a citizen of India. Whether true or not, that's for the investigation to decide. But second, by termination. If you have acquired the citizenship of another country, but you have not renounced your Indian citizenship, we will terminate your citizenship. And who will terminate your citizenship? Ministry of Home Affairs, which I told you at the start is the nodal agency responsible for all citizenship matters. So ideally, if Mr. Rahul Gandhi has acquired the citizenship of United Kingdom, then he should have renounced his Indian citizenship. If he hasn't, then the union government, the central government, the Ministry of Home Affairs should have terminated his citizenship. Why didn't they do it? Which means maybe the allegations are not true. But something else. There is a third way in which you can lose your citizenship, by deprivation. But listen to me carefully. This is why I'm telling you, extract polity news from political news. Can an Indian citizen by birth be deprived of his or her Indian citizenship? No. There is another way in which you can acquire Indian citizenship, by descent. You are born to Indian parents but outside the territory of India. Can you become an Indian? Yes, by descent. Can an Indian citizen by birth or descent be deprived of his citizenship? No. Then who can be deprived? If you have acquired citizenship through registration, or if you have acquired citizenship through naturalization. Sir, what does that mean? Registration and naturalization. You are not an Indian, but for example, you marry an Indian. Now you can register after staying in India for a few years, you can register for Indian citizenship. Or you are not even married to an Indian Under registration, there are various other conditions, but I'm just talking about one condition, for example, marriage. For example, you're not married to an Indian, but even then you want to become an Indian. Then you can become an Indian citizen through naturalization. But there are various conditions that you need to fulfill. You should not be from a country where Indians are not allowed to become citizens. You should have a knowledge about any Indian language mentioned in the 8th schedule. You should have stayed in India for 14 years. You have to give up your previous citizenship. There are various conditions. There are various criteria that you need to fulfill in order to become an Indian citizen through naturalization. That's how Adnan Sami, John Drays, Mother Teresa, they have become Indian citizens through naturalization. But I told you that there are some conditions which you have to meet. What if by providing documents that I meet these conditions, you have given these documents, but these are fraud. You have hidden some facts. You have concealed some facts. You have not met the criteria, yet you are claiming that you have met the criteria. If the union government realizes that you have acquired citizenship through registration or naturalization, but through fraud, through concealment of facts, your citizenship can be deprived. You can be deprived of your Indian citizenship if you are disloyal to the constitution. And who does this? Central government. But now, what is the role that citizenship plays for a legislator? There is something called qualification as well as disqualification. Can you contest election to Lok Sabha or Legislative Assembly or Rajya Sabha or Legislative Council or for the post of President, Vice President? Yes. But for that, the first important criteria is you have to be a citizen. Only the citizens are qualified to contest elections. But what if you were a citizen when you contested the election? For example, let's assume that Mr. Rahul Gandhi was an Indian in 2004 when he contested the election. But later in 2005 or 2006, he has acquired the citizenship of Britain, of United Kingdom. Then in that case, you are to be disqualified. Because if you are a citizen at the time of elections, when you have won the election, later, if your citizenship changes, you have acquired the citizenship of another country, or your citizenship has been terminated, or you have been deprived of your citizenship, if you acquired Indian citizenship through registration or naturalization, in that case, you will be disqualified. Who will disqualify you? President, governor. President, if you are a member of union legislature. Governor, if you are a member of the state legislature. But governor and the president, they cannot act on their own. They have to refer this matter to the Election Commission of India, seek the report of the Election Commission of India, and the report of the Election Commission of India is binding on the president or the governor. If Rahul Gandhi indeed is the British citizen, why was this matter not referred by the president to the Election Commission of India and acted upon the report of the Election Commission of India? Or did it happen? Let's look at something interesting. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy wrote a letter to Prime Minister Modi way back in 2015 saying action should be taken against Rahul Gandhi because he is not a citizen. Complaints were filed. In 2019, the government asked Mr. Rahul Gandhi, explain your position. Because after all, Home Ministry is the nodal ministry responsible for citizenship matters. Mr. Rahul Gandhi gave a response and said he is only the citizen of India. I do not hold British citizenship, which means I do not hold dual citizenship. And the government seemed to have accepted this. Matter went to the Supreme Court as well. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy approached the court as well. There were other individuals who approached the Supreme Court. And in 2019, Supreme Court said, basically Supreme Court was asked, please issue a directive to Election Commission of India that till the time we decide whether Mr. Rahul Gandhi is or is not the citizen of India, he should not be allowed to contest 2019 Lok Sabha elections. The Supreme Court rejected this petition as well. Other courts also have rejected this petition. Then why is this matter in the court again? But now, something more interesting. In these matters, the burden of proof is on the accuser. There is a BJP worker who has filed this complaint before the Allahabad High Court. He has to prove that Rahul Gandhi is not the citizen of India. Rahul Gandhi need not prove that I am the citizen of India. The courts have previously said, just because there are entries in a foreign company documents that shows, for example, that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is a British citizen, that is not a sufficient proof in citizenship matters. This is for the central government to decide whether Rahul Gandhi is or is not the citizen of India. In fact, Congress party later gave and showed the official documents of that company as well, where it was clearly mentioned that Rahul Gandhi is an Indian, has claimed himself to be an Indian, not a British citizen. The court has said, if there are clerical errors in a document, that does not mean that officially you are not the citizen. What if that document is a forged document, or there is an error in that document which claims that Rahul Gandhi is a British citizen? That clerical error does not mean that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is proven to be a non-citizen. And who gave this ruling in 2019? A bench of the Supreme Court, which was then headed by Justice Ranjan Gogoi. Or imagine it this way. Great-grandfather, the Prime Minister of India, Pandit Nehru. Grandmother, the Prime Minister of India, Srimati Indira Gandhi. Father, the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. Mother, Ms. Sonia Gandhi, the de facto Prime Minister for 10 years. Now, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is the scion of a political family. And he would know that I have to, at one point in time, jump into the electoral politics and be part of the politics in India. Why would he renounce Indian citizenship and acquire the citizenship of any other country? So it seems that these are mere allegations. If there was some truth or element of truth in it, the central government would have acted swiftly and terminated the citizenship of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. But my question to you is this: should India allow dual citizenship? Yes, no. What are the arguments in favor? What are the arguments against? Do let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching.